He said the text comes from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. The King James Version reads, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, and to give you an expected end." And this brought me to this question, or just a point to ponder. What are you expecting? Then I read the NIV version of this passage, and I immediately grew fond of it. "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future." Now you notice it says, declares the Lord. Declares to announce something loudly and clearly. See, he's saying, make no mistakes about what I'm about to tell you. And when we talk about audacity, it stems from the word audacious, which simply means bold or daring. So audacity is a form of your boldness, your fearlessness, your courage, but your courage to believe. The word believe means nothing but to accept what is true. It is what it is. What you see is what you get. It's the Lord's promise for our prosperity. Now you see, this was during the time that the people of Judah had left Jerusalem to serve in Babylon. They had just served under the leadership of Hananiah, the false prophet. You see, God sometimes puts us in situations to test our faith. Which brings me to another point we sometimes have to go through to get to. Now at this time in the passage, the exiles are receiving a letter from Jeremiah the prophet. They are advised to deal with this temporarily. He tells them to build, marry, settle down, plant gardens. He's basically telling you to face your situation boldly, but while doing so, seek peace and prosperity. He goes on to warn them in verse 8 to not let prophets and diviners amongst you deceive you. You can't listen to everybody. So while you are instructed to build, to marry, and to settle down, you get the naysayers in your ear saying stuff like, you going to buy a new car with the economy like this? And you took on that new job and they laying people off. And you planting seeds in that church and them folks are driving better than you. You see, people are always going to try to put some mess in your ear, distracting you from believing what God told you was going to happen in the first place. Those same folks tried to get in my ear and stop me from doing what God gave me the okay to do. You see, but that's the boldness of believing, that audacity. I took a look in the mirror and I thought about where I've been and where I'm going. I then look across this sanctuary and I see some of the elders. And I think of Babylon. Then I think of America. Now in verse 10, the Lord says, when 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will come to you and fulfill my gracious promise to bring you back to this place. Then I use my spiritual imagination, and I hear, when 8 years are completed under President Bush, I will come to you fulfilling my promise and bring the rock to this place. Then I think about the Babylon in my life. My faith has increased to the point of accepting these situations and learning experiences as God continues to take me higher. This has taught me to be open, real, and honest with myself. What you see is what you get. Now, I don't claim to be anyone's preacher or teacher, but I am a speaker. And being a spoken word artist, we use this term spit. Spit not meaning ejecting saliva from the mouth, but it's the acronym for speaking powerful in tongues. So if you don't mind, I'd like to close with this poem. You ask my name. I am the blessed. And I'm so grateful for the blessing. From the Lord, and from my parents, and even from the little lessons that I learned in life, and how it taught me to stay on my P's and Q's, how those friends would be a few, and how Mama said, boy, do as I say, not as I do. So what you get is what you see. What you see is what you get. When I spit, I speak the truth. So the truth is what I spit. Now it started back in December. The year was 1972. A chosen child of God was birthed. You see, my folks didn't have the truth. I was the second son of 3 boys who straight gave our parents hell. We all traveled different roads. See, we all got our own stories to tell. My story ain't your story. And your story ain't her story. But your story can be his story. Giving God the glory. Now don't sit there and think for a second that I've always walked with the mouth. I had cars and seeing women. I was a steamy little guy. But I used to when I speak, I got to be real. Mama said, tell the truth, you shame the devil. What you get is what you see. What you see is what you get. When I spit the truth. So the truth is what I spit. Now, for all the sinners in here,
job is down and he chose me. A gangbanger, crap street, uneducated. Baby daddy is free. I throw my hands up in the air and said, Lord, why do you even bother? He said, T, you're more than a baby daddy. You're my son. Yes, you're my father. You know the trials and tribulations, they all come with the gift of life. But this will help you through the trials, all the heartache and strife. Remember, those problems are temporary. You just got to endure it a little longer. You know that you say, what don't kill us will only make us stronger. Like my life is Grandma said, pray about it. You don't need for all the stress. Put the trust in God, Sherry. Why are you second guessing? My dad would say, son, hey, always do this. I was bound to learn the lesson. It was there that I made a decision to no longer carry a Smith & Wesson, spin a gun, so the team would only lead to a life of depression. So I say my life is God. Y'all heard it. I'm just confessing. What you get is what you see. What you see is what you get. When I spit, I speak the truth. So the truth is what I spit. Now I have the audacity to believe it.